Hey guys, welcome back again to the Outer Dimensions podcast. Welcome back again to the channel that talks about anything and everything movie related. Welcome back to the Outer Dimensions podcast. Normally with Dave and Dre. Dre's out ill. He's out sick. He's not feeling that well today.
Dre got fired.
So we have our secondary, our backup co-host Colin from EC Collecting and That Effing Figures.
What's going on, everybody?
Effing Figures _ podcast. So we're going to be talking this week. We're talking video game movies. Okay. Now, when you think of video game movies, most of you are probably going to think, oh, Super Mario, but you're probably thinking Chris Pratt, or you're probably thinking the more recent Resident Evil offerings on Netflix or something like that. We're going back a little bit further, guys. Tonight we are talking about well, some of these movies started out in the 90s, so might be before some of you were born. Colin, I know we're old. We're old as sin. It's not even funny. So let's go ahead and pull up the cheat sheet, which was procured and created by Dre of the Collector Safe Space, and we're hoping if Dre is watching this that he gets better soon. So here we are. We have video games turned movies, round 1, Outer Dimensions podcast. Now, as you can see, we have some movies like Street Fighter, Doom. We're not doing Doom today. That'll be on a future episode. But let's go ahead and start off with the first movie. Honestly, I think this should have been the last movie. Just my personal opinion, because we're going to save the best for last. This is a guilty pleasure. A lot of people were not too crazy about this movie. Some people weren't crazy about this movie. The people making this movie were not crazy about this movie. It is a little known secret that John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins were drinking their asses all the way through this movie because there were rewrites. There was all this stuff going on behind the scenes. Let's take a look. This premiered in May 28th of 1993, produced by Rolando, not that Rolando, produced by Rolando Jaffe and Jake Eberts, written by Ed Solomon, Terry Runte, and Parker Bennett. Now, this starred Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, Samantha Mathis, got a little crush on her back then, and of course, Dennis Hopper as King Koopa. Well, he was President Koopa. He wasn't king there. Budget of $48 million, which, I mean, for 1993, that's kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Box office, it made $39 million. So it did not make its money back. However,
not a big deal.
It's become a cult favorite since then. I mean, as Dre included here, oh, we got Cat Attack. We got the cat in the house. Hey, Kat, how you doing today? Vader's girl, hope you're doing well. She's probably got a pile of puzzles right in front of her.
Oh, I love puzzles.
Well, actually, Kat's been doing some puzzle streams on her channel.
Really?
On weekends. She's been inviting her and other people to join live and build puzzles.
No.
Yeah, seriously.
Man.
She's been doing this. Salacious Rum has been doing it, but she's the puzzle queen. She started it. So, yeah, check out Vader's Girl's channel. Yeah.
I was just looking at some new puzzles today.
She's been doing a lot of Star Wars puzzles, of course. I mean, it's in her name, Vader's Girl.
They had a new Ninja Turtle puzzle at Target.
Awesome. And of course, we got she says pain is bad, but hanging in there. Okay. Well, I hope you're feeling better soon. And of course, we got Colbane Games in the chat. KBG.
What's up?
The man, the myth, the gamer, the content creator. the Grand Marshal of the Gunpla network here on YouTube. So yeah, so it only has a runtime of 104 minutes, and not terribly long, not terribly long. But to me, this is one of my all-time favorites. Like, I watch it like I'm still a little kid when I watch this movie. This is just a favorite. Dre put in that it spawned a cartoon series and animated film, was wildly popular. Well, I shouldn't say this movie itself pushed it, but this movie, it helped the IP develop,
I loved this. I don't remember what station it used to come on, but I used to love.
They would have the Super Show with Captain Lou Albano, and I forget what the other actor's name is. They would do like a little live action skit of Luigi and Mario, but then they would have like the little mini cartoon. They would have like two different mini cartoons throughout it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that might have been Fox back in the day.
I miss watching movies on like TNT and stuff. Then they have like the little specials where they would sit and talk about them in between movie and stuff. Like, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they used to do all kinds of stuff back then. Yep. Colby knows what we're talking about. The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Yep.
There you go.
And he says hi to Kat. Kat says hi to Aaron. She says, "Oh, thanks, Dave. I am the queen of puzzles. All welcome to join." See, she does open streams.
Heck yeah.
Adult beverages sold separately. And we got Duffman's diorama.
What's up, Duff?
The Duffinator. But yeah, of course, there's cartoon iterations. Also, there is a Universal Studios theme park in Tokyo, in California, which features Super Mario. Now, let's take a look. Gotta love those aggregators. Now, Dre tirelessly goes through all the aggregator sites, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it 29%. IMDb gave it 4.1 out of 10. Now, honestly, you guys have to suspend belief. This is the first time Nintendo attempted to make a movie. Unless you count the movie The Wizard. Unless you count that, which I personally don't count that, as even though it featured Nintendo in it, it wasn't in a Nintendo movie per se. I mean, actually using intellectual properties of Nintendo. I mean, this is the first time they actually took a Nintendo game, developed the characters into a story. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune and Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 2 thumbs down on the television program. Siskel and Ebert at the movie, citing tonal inconsistency and lack of narrative, and the film was on their list for one of the worst films of 1993. 1993 didn't exactly have a whole lot of magical movies. But then again, you have guys who are in their 40s talking about a movie that's really kind of geared towards kids, and it's about video games, and video game movies weren't really a thing yet. So, I mean, personally, I don't think that's a fair assessment. But these were honest reviews by those gentlemen back in that time. I mean, look at it. This is what, 30 years ago? Because we're in 2023. So that would be 30 years ago. I mean, Super Mario has come a long way. Nintendo making movies has come a long way since then. Now, Michael Wilmington of the Los Angeles Times said it's a movie split in two. Wildly accomplished on one level, wildly deficient on another. Wow, that sounds like my Buffalo Bills this week. He gave the film high marks for its effects and the sheer density of, how would you say that word? Bravura?
Bravura.
The bravura, or I almost want to say bravado, of the production design, but ultimately provided a low final score for poor writing. Yeah, I'll be honest. The writing was a little off, and let's be honest, if anything, Bob Hoskins could have been Luigi, playing, he was Mario. Yeah, they went by Mario and Luigi Mario. But here's the thing, Bob Hoskins could have been John Leguizamo's father. The age gap between the two, I mean, would you buy these two as brothers? Honestly, I wouldn't, but hey, it is what it is. You know, it is a little off. Like Luigi plays this he plays this young guy who believes in anything out there. He really doesn't have a goal in his life, doesn't really have like a plan. You know, he's kind of a dreamer and a little bit spacey, not always the brightest bulb in the box. And Mario's the guy that he has everything kind of planned out. He's trying to teach his younger brother, who really he took in as his brother, which explains a lot, obviously. And he tries to teach him the trades, and there's these there's a rival plumbing company, and yes, it does feel like it can be kind of like two storylines, but they then culminate. The movie writing isn't the greatest. I mean, there are some cheesy lines, and basically, long story short, the meteorite that struck the Earth actually didn't destroy the dinosaurs, but really pretty much knocked them into a parallel dimension. So you have two Earths, okay? One where obviously primates evolved into us human beings, and then you had the other world where dinosaurs evolved into humanoid-looking beings like we did, but they're a little bit different. Now, I will say this: the special effects, just like Mr. Mike Wilmington said, the special effects were on a high level and they did some very intricate details. Now, Colin, I don't know if you saw this. Excuse me. Oh, Duffman's asking where Dre is. Dre's not feeling well today, so we're doing the show. He asked us to do the show without him, so we're moving forward. Always forward, never backwards. And if Dre's hearing this, we hope he's feeling better. But one thing they did, they went on detail levels that you really don't think about at first, because okay, cars in their world, in the dinosaur world, do not run on gasoline. They run on electricity, which I thought made a crap ton of sense for one sheer fact. Gasoline is derived from fossil fuels. Okay. Dinosaurs were living beings on that dinosaur world. Obviously, they weren't encased and buried under layers and layers of dirt and the crust of the earth. So it makes perfect sense that they wouldn't have gasoline or develop gasoline products. They would only have electric products there. So that in itself made its own sense. But I mean, this is one of those movies, as I said before, I hate to repeat myself, that you just kind of have to watch and suspend belief, and don't try and think about it too much, and just have a good time. Just have fun with it. Is it cheesy? Yes. The effects for 1993 were pretty top notch. There was even product placements. They have these de-evolution rifles that they use, but they were really just repainted versions of the Super Nintendo Super Scope, which was a interactive light gun that you used with the Super Nintendo system. To me, this is one of my all-time favorites. This is a favorite movie. Again, we acknowledge that the writing is not great. Even some of the jokes are goofy. I love that Cole Bain says that he loves the Koopa
Troopers.
Koopa Troopers right there. They were I mean, it's funny because they get devolved, so they're all big and burly, but then they have these small little heads, small brains. Fisher Stevens is in here. He always plays these weird kind of like funny kooky characters. I mean, it's just a fun movie. I mean, if you're someone that loves crazy movies that make no sense, like say Howard the Duck, this is definitely going to be up your alley. You're gonna have a fun time with this movie. Sure, if they would have spent more time on the script, it probably would have made more sense, because it does feel like kind of like two different things. There are questions left here, and personally, the ending, they kind of did a Back to the Future ending on this. What would you say, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, this movie is no Scorsese film, but but I mean, honestly, I can't even tell you like why I like this movie so much, but it was a big part of my growing up, and
it's nostalgia, man. I mean,
Yeah, dude. Like,
it was the first time we had a video game adapted into a movie.
and at that
John,
time, like, just being
yeah.
Mario and Luigi, I think was just like, oh, dude, anything. It's just cool, dude.
Oh yeah, we got to see
Oh
Yoshi,
yeah, Yoshi. Yep.
and I mean, it's just one of those things that are just. It's just a fun movie. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, they're wearing kind of like red and metal boots. That's how they're able to do like super jumps and
Yep.
kind of flying around almost. I mean, hell, I wish I had those right now. You know. Plus, they look like they would hurt if you got kicked in a certain region. If you know what I'm saying. Hashtag Wolfman has nards.
It's an adventurous movie, dude. I like that. That's
Yeah, I mean, the 80s and 90s were just filled with these kinds of movies where like you get just some average Joes thrown into a situation that is beyond bananas. That's just so insane that
and yet
it would take years
somehow
of
make it
therapy
out.
to kind of get grasp around it. But they go with the story. They go with the insanity that they're in a parallel world and that they know nothing. Like, Luigi is using on going on instinct. Just he finds a bomb, he finds little mushrooms, and he stows them in his almost empty tool belt. Just going on instinct, and he goes with the flow. And Mario's like, "What are you doing, huh? What's wrong with you?" It's they do have the banter back and forth, and like I said in the beginning, John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins, they knew that this was a crap movie, and they're drinking their asses throughout the entire film. I mean, they could have complained. They could have said, "Hey, we need to rewrite this," or "Come on, what are you guys doing here?" But they went with it. They kind of went for a paycheck. Can't blame them for it. I mean, you're not exactly doing Shakespeare here, you know. Which ironically, John Leguizamo would wind up being in the Romeo and Juliet Shakespeare film that would happen a couple years later. So, it is what it is. Dennis Hopper plays. I mean, Dennis Hopper can play any character. He can play serious. He can play comical, and he kind of he's almost. I almost want to say like he's 10% Jack Nicholson Joker
Oh,
in this.
oh yeah.
Like he pretends to be a lawyer helping out the Marios, and they're like, "Oh well, we need to talk to this Cooper Joker," and he's like, "Oh, you don't want to talk to this to Koopa. He's one son of a something like a sinister snake or something like that." Then they find out that he's really Koopa, and they're like, "Wait a minute, you just said he's yeah, I said was I lying? No." It's just a fun video game movie. I mean, yes, I get the critics for the time because they never saw video game movies before, so it is what it is. We're gonna go on to the next one. Okay, speaking of movies that are not really written well, and again, this is 1994, so only a year later. Okay, Street Fighter. Yes, you heard that right. We have Street Fighter. Premiered December 23rd, 1994 in the United States. However, it would not premiere until May 6, 1995 in Japan, which obviously, most of the video game companies are based in Japan and in Asia, let's be honest. Producer is Stephen E. D'Souza and also wrote it. I guess it's good when you're the writer and the producer, but you got paid twice as much. Who knows? I don't know if I was late. Dre says, I don't know if it was something I ate. The cold my wife has trying to take hold. Oh, well, again, hope you're feeling better. Take your time, do it right. Get some soup. Some hot tea or something. So we now this is star-studded. Well, somewhat star-studded. Jean-Claude Van Damme, of course, as Guile. And like I was telling Colin, backstage in our green room. Yes, we have a green room. It's not green, but we think it's green.
It's green.
We get like Jean-Claude Van Damme. They're not the UN; they're the AN, Allied Nations. Yeah, it's what they go with. And obviously he's using his accent, but he's like rocking the big old GI Joe style American flag tattoo on his arm, which I think is hilarious, even though he's, obviously he's not from the US, but it is what it is. We have Raul Julia, Gomez Adams himself, playing the villain M. Bison, and he plays him so well, and this was Raul Julia's final film. He died, I'm trying to remember the exact time and when he died. It was a short while after, because if you watch the entire movie to its entirety, there is a Vios con Dios to Raul, a goodbye to Raul Julia. He's played a villain in so many movies, but most people will always recognize him as Gomez Adams in Adam's Family and Adam's Family Values, starring opposite Angelica Houston, Christopher Lloyd, and so many others, Christina Ricci. That's where most people know him. I know him from other stuff. He's appeared in so many films and TV shows over the years. One that always sticks out in my mind is actually a Richard Dreyfuss movie called Moon Over Parador. Like, he was like this general who gets an actor to put makeup on and pretend to be their president who passed away, so he can kind of like control the nation and all this other stuff. But he had, obviously you could tell Raul Julia had friggin' fun making this film. When you see that the characters are when you can tell the actors are having fun playing these characters, that's just the kind of experience that I would imagine a director, any filmmakers would love to have. Was this one of the best movies ever? No, not quite so much. The plot is kind of like thrown together very fast, but hey, let's be honest, this is friggin' Street Fighter. Okay. You're not going to see this movie for the storyline. You want to see the fights. You want to see those video game fights that we played so many damn times. You want to see it live action. That's why we watch this stuff, Again, we have Kylie Minogue and Ming-Na Wen, who I still have crushes on both of them. I ain't lying. They still look good for their age. Hell, what? Kylie's got to be around 50 something right now, and Ming-Na Wen, she's got to be close to, I want to say close to, she's got to be near 60. Let me do a quick search here. I have to. Okay, Ming-Na Wen is 59 years old. Like I said, she's close to it, but she still looks good for her age, man. A little known fact: she got one of her earliest jobs in show business. She was like a production assistant for Mr. Rogers. She worked on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood way back in the day there. So, and let's take a look at Kylie. Kylie, of course, was and is a singer. She is 55. Yeah, he's still good for their ages. But we had Damien Chapa and Wes Studi, and there's a few other people in this film. Excuse me. Budget was 35 million. They made their money back.
Oh yeah.
They almost made it back 3 times, almost. $99.4 million US. Now, this is in the theaters. There was no, we didn't have DVD. DVDs really weren't a thing just yet. I think DVD market really hit big. I want to say later on, like maybe late 90s, maybe a few more. This might have been around the time DVDs were first coming out. Blu-rays were not even a thing yet. Around this time period, you also had laser discs. So it's the transition of laser discs to DVDs. So you really didn't have those big sales afterwards. Inspired by the Capcom fighting game, everyone knows Street Fighter. Spawned a solo film for Chun-Li. Well, I know Dre put here spawned a solo film. The IP itself was around, so they did a solo film, which I did not watch. Actually started one of the young actresses from Smallville in there. The one who played Lana Lang played the Chun-Li character. Of course, Japanese anime films. There was also an action figure line released by Hasbro. That actually, I think that 2 years ago they did a Transformer crossover of Ken and Ryu as Transformers, which I never get that thing, but hey. Leslie Phil Perrin of Sight and Sound described Kylie Minogue as Cammy, uh, hilarious miscasting as a military wench with Heidi plates. The merest glimpse of her holding a bazooka and looking mean is enough to induce giggles in the most uh, devour or I think that's the typo, devout of viewers. Oh, Colbane wants to add, they also have a Power Ranger crossover with Street Fighter as well. Yes, they do. Where Ryu and a few other people, was it Ryu, Chun Li, and I'm trying to think of who else, were given morphers. It's not canon in the Power Rangers series, but it's canon in Fight for the Grid, which is the Power Rangers fighting game. So that is canon where Ryu actually, yeah, Ryu Ranger. So he gets the Crimson Phoenix and he gets the morph. So that is a real thing.
There's been a lot of Street Fighter crossovers recently because you had the Ninja Turtle one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go on here. Emmanuel Levy stated that the film suffers from the same problems that, believe it or not, impaired Super Mario. It's a noisy, overblown, effects laden, and lacks sustained action or engaging characters. Levy commented on Julia, referring to it as his weakest performances, accentuating each and every syllable as if he were reciting a Shakespearean role of grand emotional range. It's too bad for this. Too bad for this is the accomplished actor's last film and dedicated to him. Yeah, but you know what though? Again, it's a friggin' video game, people. Honestly, I think a big issue is that these critics were people who really weren't. They didn't engage in video games. These were people who really didn't, maybe never even saw, like for Super Mario, they maybe never played a video game or they never saw the Super Mario Super Show or Street Fighter. They didn't watch any of the cartoons. They didn't see they didn't look at the video games. I think if they would have looked at the video games at the existing IP itself and not just like a quick little 5 sentence write up somewhere, I think they would have seen that, hey, M. Bison is this egotistical, power hungry guy who doesn't see himself as a bad guy, but he is. And I think Raul Julia, could he have played him maybe a little bit more sadistic or fiercer? Maybe, perhaps, but there's arguments to be made for that. I think he was great in it, though. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
That still hasn't changed today, though. I mean, it's still today, like that happens today with video game movies. These people that don't know anything about the video game, they review a movie, and it's like it just happened recently.
I mean, if I were to sit down, okay, if I were like, okay, let's say, okay, Star Trek is a good idea, or even Doctor Who, because I am a big Doctor Who fan. They have comic books now. Now, if I were to sit down and take a read of some of these comic books that are spun off of live action and say, hey, you know what? Or what if I was someone that never even knew the shows, and I sat down and read the comic books. I'm like, well, I think this seems kind of stupid, or maybe this doesn't feel right. Well, unless you know where the property comes from, unless you know the origination of it, I think those critics were missing a lot. But again, this was the early days. We didn't have comic books, or should I say, we didn't have video games adapted into movies. This is like the second one, really. So again, it's people not fully being able to recognize the IP, to recognize that yes, these characters are meant to be bigger than life. These are characters that 10 and 12-year-olds were playing on video game consoles. So yeah, you're not going to get Shakespeare out of this. I mean, if you think of Street Fighter, I'm thinking like games like Bad Dudes and and so many others, Double Dragon, of course, Battletoads. I mean, those are stuff that it's not going to make sense. It will be silly for people. Speaking of silly, let's catch up here. We got Archer. We got Sal popping through.
Oh, Sal, I love your Sal of the Nerds watch. That's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Giving me some Game of Thrones vibes there.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we got Sal saying Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter Alpha movies are perfect examples. We got Archer saying Colbane's in the house. Everyone's saying hello to everyone else. I love this here. Dude, Street Fighter 2, the movie and the live action movie came out the same year. No excuses. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's another fun movie. I mean, it's like if you go watch a Chuck Norris movie, you're not expecting Shakespeare. You're not expecting, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You're there to watch the fights. You're here to see the explosions. All hell is about to break damn loose, and that's why we get into it. Every single one of you guys in the chat right now have played these games. Every single one of you guys in this chat have watched these movies, and you love these movies, and that's why you're here right now. We love the mindless craziness. We're not expecting a big epic saga. We're not expecting Gladiator. We're expecting. I mean, come on, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay, we're expecting some fights. We're expecting some very bad dialogue, something that is going to be very over the top, and this movie delivers that. I mean,
Van Damme he's the man, dude.
I mean, does he have some anger issues? Yes, indeed. Yes, he does. But I mean, he's good at playing a good guy. He's good at playing a bad guy. Okay. Let's see here. We got Sal says, if you don't want to watch the whole movie, at least check out the last fight scene with Ken, Ryu, and Bison from Street Fighter. Yeah. I mean, it's all right there, man. I mean, it's just a fun, mindless movie, and that's. I mean, come on, video games adapted into movies. That's what they're supposed to be, okay? And yes, it was 1994, but hey, is it a little bit more polished than, let's say, Super Mario? Possibly. Arguments can be made. Arguments can definitely be made for that. But I mean, at least it made its money. And they premiered this right at Christmas too. So kids, of course, were out of school, and I'm sure parents were like, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, we're doing last minute Christmas shopping. You guys can go see any movie you want at the cinema while we do the grocery or we do the Christmas shopping." I'm sure that was kind of the gist of it, because that's something that people used to do years ago. They dropped the kids off at the arcades or the movie theaters, the roller rinks, the bowling alleys, while they went and did the shopping. And I'm sure this was kind of a big push, like, "Oh, Street Fighter. It's a movie. Let's go do it." So kids, teenagers, everyone, they're going to see it. It made its money, guys. I mean, you have any final thoughts on this one?
No.
I mean, to me, yes, I rewatched all the movies and I enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, is it dated? Sure. But you know what? With the fighting and everything, this, you could still have this modern day. Me and Colin were saying we would love to see some modern day updates of some of these movies, like Street Fighter. Street Fighter would be a great one. You could start from scratch, or you could have Bison come back, because Bison was pretty much indestructible in this movie. You obviously, there's so much you could do with this IP that, I mean, it's still a very popular one. Who doesn't love Street Fighter? I mean, we had Street Fighter versus Capcom for crying out loud. So there's so much you can do here. Now, we still have 2 more movies here, but before we move on, I just want to do another reminder. This Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern, that is 2 p.m. Eastern, East Coast time, EC Collecting, Dave's Dimension, Dre of the Collector Safe Space, we will be hosting a live stream that all the proceeds are going towards a little charity that Colin brought to our attention. It is we are calling it the School Lunch Fundraiser. And you have now, Colin, when is our deadline? Is that going to be midnight Friday?
That's what I
or do we want to do it like? Do we want to do a cutoff? Is like they have to donate by 2 p.m. or something like that? Saturday. What do you say?
We can give them into Saturday.
Okay, so we're going to give everyone until 2 p.m. Saturday, that at 2 p.m. Eastern Saturday, that is the start time, okay? What you have to do, the directions are right here on the screen. All you have to do is you have to go to the website, which is actually in the video description below, But in case you're not looking there, it is frac.org, frac.org/healthy -school-meals-for-all. You just have to go there, donate $10, take a screenshot of that donation, and message it to either Colin, Dre, or I on Instagram. And our Instagrams are listed right there in the video description below, but also on the screen. You just have to send us a screenshot of that donation, your real name, and your Instagram screen name. Send it to us, and you're going to be entered in. We have 5 mega boxes that we are giving away. Now, this is not an elimination wheel. We choose a name. That person gets to choose one of the prizes, or one of the prize boxes, I should say. Then we're going to choose another name a little bit later. And then that person chooses from the remaining prize boxes, and so on and so forth until we are completely out. All you have to do is $10 donation. Screen cap that. Give us your real name and your screen name. Message to us privately. We put you on the wheel. Now, each of these boxes, I think the lowest retail cost of one of the boxes is roughly around $100. So, and some of the boxes go all the way up to a $300 value. There's even an argument that one of the boxes is priceless. We have a Marvel Legends box. We have a NECA box that we're giving away. Now, the box isn't just like one figure. It's like multiple figures. You're not going to be disappointed by any of these boxes, guys.
No, these are mega boxes.
Yes. So we have the Marvel Legends. We have a NECA box. We have a one-of-a-kind Star Wars Darth Maul mask made by Millennium Workshop. Rex and Millennium Workshop just made things amazing. We also have a box that is filled with Mythic Legion figures. There are, I believe, 5 Mythic Legion figures, along with some additional accessories in that box alone. I'm jealous because somebody is going to win that amazing box. You know, Mythic Legends usually go for about about $50 a piece, anyways.
Yeah. So, oh yeah.
I mean,
varies, but yeah.
I mean that alone, and then guys, there's a friggin' hot toy in the mix. We had someone who took their hard-earned money and time and ordered a hot toy. Not just any hot toy, but Luke Skywalker as featured in The Mandalorian. Okay, so we have a hot toy on deck along with all this other stuff, guys. I mean, come on. $10, that's like a cup of coffee and a snack, guys. Anyone can spare $10. Now, Colin, Dre, and I are abstaining from this giveaway, but everyone is donated, and some of us, I know Dre chose someone who's going to get his golden ticket, just like I'm going to choose someone who is going to be entered in, and these people have the chance just like any of you. All you have to do, $10, screen cap it, send us your real name, your screen name, and then you're entered in. I mean, come on, the chance to win a hot toy or the Mythic Legions or Marvel Legends or even the NECA or the mask, these are all items that are at least retail $100, if not more. And at that minimum, you're paying like 1/10 of that cost to get on in this. And what this program does is this pays for school lunches. This makes sure that that all their students are getting lunches. They're getting healthy lunches. They're getting lunches that will fill them up and get them through the day. I mean, school lunches, I mean, if you're a parent yourself, you have a niece or nephew, a neighbor's kid, this isn't just for one state. This is going nationwide. So you're gonna be making a world of difference. Those who've already donated have already made a world of difference. Okay? So please join us. And one other stipulation is you have to be present during the stream in the chat. Now, we understand that people have lives. Maybe they're working, family events, things along that nature. All you have to do is just let us know that you will not be present in the chat, and we will make some attempts to reach you during the stream. Now, after an allotted amount of time, if you are not reached, we will move on to the next person. We've already spoken to a few people who are not directly available, and they have that understanding that, after a prolonged period of time, we try and message them. If we can't reach them, we will move on to the next person. Okay. But guys, please consider making a $10 donation. It's going to make a world of difference to these kids. Please consider doing that. And again, all this information can be found in the video description below, in the stream description as well. So guys, please check us out then. And let's, Colin, do you have any other words about this amazing charity that you brought forth?
Not at the. I'm just gonna say that at the moment, your chances are pretty good at winning. So, I would definitely not pass this up.
Yeah, I mean, we can honestly say we don't have like 30 or 50 people. We have a decent number of people. We would love to have some more. But like Colin said, the odds of, people winning are pretty good. Let's go and catch up on the chat here. And no excuses. Of course, Colin had said, "What's up, Cobb?" Sal says, "Thank you, EC." Sal says, "If you don't want to watch the whole," yep, we already covered that. And he also said there is a Tekken series on Netflix from last year. Oh, okay, I'll have to check that out.
Hey, I haven't checked that out either.
We have Mr. Carlos himself, T3 Collects, saying, "Hello, gentlemen. Hello, sir." Let's go on to the next movie. Speaking of video games, video game fighter movies, Double Dragon, Power, Justice, Darkness, and Light.
Now this is my favorite out of them.
Now, again, do not have the expectation of Shakespeare or the Gladiator movie. This, I mean, this movie has so many puns, and it's so cheesy that it's cool. It's awesome. Premiered November 4th of 1994. A producer was Sunil and Ash R. Shah. Writers were Paul Dini and Neil Shusterman. Starred Robert Patrick. Come on, the T-1000 from Terminator. I mean, Robert Patrick. I mean, if you don't know who he is, I don't know if I want to know you. I mean, Robert Patrick's been in everything from the X-Files to he was on the CBS series Scorpions. That was a big favorite with my wife. Of course, he also recently played father to John Cena's Peacemaker on the HBO series of the same title. He's just one of those prolific actors. Like he will sign up for almost anything, whether it's comedy or serious action. He is there. Colby wanted to add about the anime in the movie line. But we have Robert Patrick, but check this out. We have Alyssa Milano. This is like short. I mean, this is 90s, so this is like a handful of years after Who's the Boss. I think she might have done the Poison Ivy movie, the sequel to it that she did. I mean, this is like her. She was getting away from the kiddie stuff, but she still did this one for a paycheck, obviously. We have Scott Wolf. Anyone who knows Scott Wolf, you know him most likely from Party of Five, the Fox series from way back in the 90s. And of course, Mark Dacascos. Anyone who knows martial arts movies, action movies, you know Mark Dacascos. I know I was introduced to him from Only the Strong, which was a big favorite of mine, and I'm hoping we're going to cover that in a future episode. But he has been in so many different things recently. I mean, he was in was it the third John Wick? He was the fanboy hitman who was a big fan of John Wick and felt it was an honor to face him and everything. He was also in. He's been doing a lot of different action movies lately. I mean, he's just all over the place. I mean, he even did starred in a live. It was live action, but limited run series and syndication of The Crow, Stairway to Heaven, which if you ever come across it online, it's definitely an interesting watch. It's a fun watch. Honestly, this guy does everything, but what's really freaky is he looks so damn young in this movie compared to anything else that he's done, of course. I mean, it's 1994. That was what, 29 years ago? So do the math, guys. But speaking of math, let's take a look at those numbers. Budget was $7.8 million. It only made 4.2, so it fell a little short. Okay. Runtime 95 minutes, so just over an hour and a half. Speaking of hour and a half, let's take a look at the little chat right here. I just donated, but I should have a screenshot earlier. I just took of the thank you part. Okay. Cobweb Collector. Thank you, sir. We got Rolando Flores, the multiversal moderator himself, is in the chat. Hope you're doing great tonight, Rolando.
Oh, we still have our fundraiser screen up.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
There we go. There's our double dragon.
There you go. You get the double dragon poster with all the information there. I'm sorry.
Dude, I love this movie, man. I don't care.
See, Carlos knows. T3 knows. He has it on DVD, the Stairway to Heaven series, which was a real fun series, and I really wish they would have, expanded it, but that's another discussion for another time. Carlos says, hey, Rolando, what's up, my brother? And Rolando's saying hello right back.
Oh, so, Rolando, what's up?
Based on Double Dragon franchise by Technos Japan, and spawned a cartoon and toy line. Actually, I think they had a couple iterations of anime films of Street Fighter. I think there might have even been a full CGI one. Very bad CGI, but I think there was one. Now let's take a look here. IMDb, those lovely aggregators. IMDb did 3.9 and Rotten Tomatoes did 12%. In 2009, Time listed the film on their top list of top 10 worst video game movies. It's believable. I mean, if you consider feature films, when it comes to feature films, because there's been other movies that were made into video games that might be, it all depends on what you like. So, I mean, again, this is Time is in Time Life. It is Time Magazine's opinion of worst games. I mean, again, these are people who probably really didn't play video games. So keep that in mind. Stephen Holden called it a movie of frantic action and clever special effects with jumpy nonstop energy that overrides the script's incongruities and the amateurish performances. Yeah, Scott Wolf doesn't exactly exude the aura of a fighter, let's be honest. They kind of threw him in there to be the eye candy, let's be honest. Like even Mark Dacascos, like the long hair, like the moppy hair that he's rocking in that, that wasn't his. I mean, they were going for the pretty boy aesthetic here, and they were trying to get the young men into the movie because one, it's Double Dragon, and two, they had Alyssa Milano, and they had Alyssa Milano. And should I say one more time? They had Alyssa Milano. But I mean, whoa! Nice shooting text. Double Dragon's clever use of special effects cannot mask the film's overly simplistic storyline and cheesy dialogue, making it one of the lowest rated video game adaptations of all time. Yes, there are tons, and I do mean tons, of cheesy puns. I mean, there's a fight where like the female bad guy Lash is, she's trying to fight Alyssa Milano. She makes the little quip, "Oh, who's the boss now?" I mean, we get these little clips throughout the entire movie. Like the Bobo gets turned into this big, like over steroided hormonal bag of muscle, and he can barely move at times, and he's supposed to be comic relief, but he's more like comic desperation. It's just some of the stuff is a bit cheesy, but guess what? It was 1994. I mean, take a look. This movie was made for $7.8 million, whereas Street Fighter hit $35 million. Even Super Mario, $48 million. So when you compare those double-digit budgets to this single-digit budget, it is what it is, guys. Is it still a fun watch? Yes, it's a fun, mindless watch. It's set in a slightly, slightly near future. I think RoboCop, but cheesy. It's you have LA has had a series of quakes, and there's these ongoing commercials and gags that you need these massive jacks to keep your roof, your ceiling, keep everything stable in the homes. the water, the bay in LA is like all the water is toxic, and people are driving around in these like fusion powered vehicles because you're throwing trash into this receptacle that helps fusion power the vehicles. I mean, there's a lot of weird craziness and kookiness, and for the amount of money that they had, they made a fun film. For what the budget was, I think they did a very good job. Was it a very good movie? Again, the storyline was kind of haphazard. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more background on Robert Patrick's character of Shuko. I mean, there's so much that they kind of missed on this. We got Rex. Rex is in the chat. What's up? For the record, I loved Double Dragon, and no one better say anything bad about the movie.
Oh no!
Hey,
yeah, this movie's awesome, dude.
I told Colin I still have the soundtrack.
I just watched this like a couple days ago. I'm gonna watch this tonight now. I love this movie.
I mean, it's a fun, cheesy, goofy time. I mean, there's even a moment when they're fighting and the two of them get knocked back and they fall back onto an old arcade game, but the arcade game is Double Dragon. So, this movie doesn't, not for one moment, not for one single moment does this movie take itself serious. It's poking fun at itself, I mean, it's like I was telling Colin, I mean, this, it's one of those movies that, it felt like it was in vein. It was like more of a cheesy vein of Ninja Turtles, Same thing with even Street Fighter. And I mean, these are mindless fun movies to watch. You're not expecting anything amazing. And again, these critics, I'm sure, were people who never played the video games. They didn't know the storylines. They didn't know the type of characters, or they didn't know that it's supposed to be nonstop fighting and it wasn't supposed to make any sense whatsoever. And T3 says, I believe Street Fighter is getting a 4K release. Well, I know Super Mario is right now out of Australia. I'm not too sure about Street Fighter, but I don't see why I shouldn't. So we've gone over these three. So let's go on to our fourth and final movie tonight. We're stepping away from the 90s. We're stepping into the 2000s, and we're stepping away from the, action fighting, or should I say the hand-to-hand combat fighting movies. And we're kind of going up to, well, The Dead. House of the Dead, 2003, October 10th of 2003 to be precise. Producer was Uwe Boll. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's done a lot of really good action movies. But this is a horror movie written by Dan Bates and Mark Altman, starring Jonathan Cherry, Tyron Lizzo, Clint Howard. Yes, that is Clint Howard, the brother of Ron Howard, and he also is very famous for early Star Trek, and he's appeared in so many different movies and TV shows over the years. Ona Grauer and Ellie Cornell. Now, this is a budget of $12 million, so this had more money than our last film. Box office was $14 million. Wow. Runtime 9, yeah. So it actually made $2 million more than its budget, so that was good. We have 90 minutes runtime based on the House of the Dead game franchise, which you can still find these arcade games scattered throughout your local Dave & Buster's or any other video game establishments you might have near you. I remember playing a few of the arcade games, although it wasn't a religious event. Now, this is a movie where I told Colin this. I described this movie as one of those slasher type horror movies that you would probably see on Sci-Fi Channel on a Saturday night. It is not A, it's not B. I would say this is maybe even C level to a certain extent. Basically, you have these college kids who they're on break or they're going to a rave that's on a secluded island. So they have to ride this kind of janky ferry to get over to this island. The ferry is also AKA some smugglers who are trying to hide some stuff on the island itself so that the local police and or Coast Guards or anyone else cannot track them and catch them red-handed. Well, when they get to this island, there's already a rave going on there, and well, they get to the rave, but the rave is dead. No one's around. Literally, there's like torn tents, bodies everywhere. You're trying to figure out what the hell is going on here, and it turns out there's some kind of an ancient curse or something going on. People are getting, someone gets slashed or bit. They eventually are going to turn all twisted and evil. It's basically a zombie movie with a different kind of mythos to it. There's one point where someone is clearly actually mentioning Romero, as in George Romero from Living Dead. This movie really, it's very all over the place. And let's just take a look at the reviews here. IMDb gives it a 2.1. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 3%. So they seem to be on the same page right there. IGN gave it 3 out of 5 stars, citing it as an unabashed B movie that does an incredibly decent job with a limited budget, unknown cast, and routine storyline. Like we said, it's an obligatory dead arising, and they're actually chasing after you. And they do chase. They don't do like the slow walk. They're actually chasing after you. It's like almost like they're a hybrid feral like zombies that are like, they're sniffing around, they're jumping up at things, they're grabbing you, they're ripping you apart with tremendous strength. So yeah, that is where where they take the routine storyline and it doesn't feel natural. I'll say this, in my opinion, the storyline felt like it could have had a little bit more substance to it. You start off with someone narrating and talking about how everyone's going to die and all this other stuff. It did feel a little bit, and the other sentence we have here, a grungy, disjointed, mostly brainless mess of a film. I love the pun there, brainless mess. House of Dead is nonetheless loaded with unintentional laughs. Yes, there are some jokes here and there, and some of the cheesiness, you can't help but have a laugh at it. To me, I would have to say this was, of the 4 films that we reviewed for tonight, this is probably dead last for me. Colin, do you have thoughts?
This one I'm not familiar with. I've never even I don't even think I've ever even played these games. I am very curious to watch this one now.
You can technically find this on Amazon Prime Video, but it's a rental charge of $4.99.
Really?
I'm sure, yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. There may be a few sites out there where you can find it, or maybe it will rotate onto Netflix or something else. I know, like, there's a lot of different, like maybe on Shudder or something, like with their free trials or something like that. You might find it, or on Chiller, you might find it on one of those apps or one of those channels and watch it. Now you guys heard me kind of like put it down. It is enjoyable. I mean, I love a good zombie movie, but it's like I've seen some movies that had a little bit more plot to it. Like, was it Return of the Living Dead, Rave to the Grave? I think that was the 4th one. And that was like a straight to Sci-Fi Channel kind of thing. It had a little bit more substance to it. Carlos says he's seen it. I see the DVD in the bargain bin at Walmart or at Dollar General. So yeah, you can probably pick it up for around $4 or $5. It has some interest. I mean, you have some actors in there like Clint Howard and I want to say it's Tyron Lizzo. He's appeared in a lot of really good movies. So, I mean, you have a couple of good actors in there. They're just kind of picking up a paycheck here and there because they can be character actors. This, I mean, yes, it's fun. If you want to see somebody get ripped apart, or you want to see like, hey, I love zombie movies, I love undead movies, but you aren't privy to the whole mythos of their version of the undead until you get towards the end of the movie. So you're not quite sure what you're dealing with. Are they zombies? Is there a curse? What's going on here? You're not privy to that until towards the end of the movie. And yes, you get the obligatory eye candy of both great looking guys and gals. But aside from that, it's kind of, it does feel a little bit haphazard as far as the storyline goes. Again, this would be something I honestly wouldn't mind seeing a remake of. But again, Uwe Boll, who's the producer, if I'm correct, he does mostly action movies. So maybe this was kind of like maybe not the greatest script for him to direct. That could be a possibility as well. Some people have really great strengths. I mean, could you see Wes Craven doing like a Hallmark movie? No, you can never see that in 1,000 years. And not just because he's dead, but I'm just saying. I mean, you can't see John Carpenter doing like a Will Ferrell comedy. You just wouldn't. You get some directors, some writers who stick to what they know. This wasn't exactly that case, but it's still an enjoyable movie. Just like every single one of these movies, they're a video game movie, but guess what? You could still sit there, bucket of popcorn, a cold drink, and have some laughs and enjoy yourself. That's what all these movies have in common, guys. All these movies were based on video games, and are they perfect? No, but guess what? No friggin' movie's perfect. Okay. I mean, you could look at Gladiator and you could probably find a few things that you might improve upon it, although that might be pretty hard. But I mean, every film, every TV show is never going to be 100% perfect. And honestly, all these movies, you're going to sit down, you're going to have a great time, have some laughs, and you're going to enjoy yourself. Colin, anything you want to add about the movies tonight?
I don't think so.
Go ahead.
I would love to see, one thing I didn't say is I would love to see like either a remake or a like something built off of Double Dragon. I don't know. I just love Double Dragon.
Yeah, Colin was saying
it gives me like
yeah, you like that dystopian kind of not so bright a future.
And I'm actually amazed by the budget for that movie because like
for what they pulled off.
Yeah, I think for what they pulled off, that was pretty damn impressive.
I mean, just under $8 million. They had a bunch of special effects. They had a lot of props. A lot of friggin' props.
Yeah.
They had a lot of costumes because you had like different gangs who are running the city at night. The police actually have a curfew once it's dark, once night falls. The police kind of lock themselves up. It's almost Purge like, really.
And I'm sorry, that car should be up there with like the greats, like
the Dragon Wagon.
Dude, that should be up there with like with
the Dragon Wagon is definitely a very unique vehicle. Let's see if I can pull
up there with the Ecto one and the
whoa.
Dude, I put it up there. That car is awesome, dude. I don't care what it says.
That's not nice. I typed in Dragon Wagon and I'm pulling up some military vehicles here. Can we find a picture of the Dragon Wagon?
Yeah, flames shooting out the back, dude. Oh man.
Yeah, it had kind of a Batmobile kind of vibe to it. Hold on, I'm going to do this. Here we go. So, since we covered these movies, I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Okay, drag this over so you guys can get a nice little view. So here we go. I'm going to pull that back up. Share screen. And there you go. This is what Colin is obsessing over. See if I can get this to load. Nope. So this is the Dragon Wagon.
Dude, there's got to be like a die-cast version of this out there.
If not, I think Colin wants a model kit of a station wagon, and we're going to mod it up so it can look like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get like the dragon flames and the dragon right here. You get this is what Colin's talking about. This little exhaust right here shoots out flames.
Fucking 10-foot flame.
You got like these milk canisters here that are painted silver, so they look like they're part of some kind of complex engine thing going on here.
I love the computer thing that flips down from like the visor or whatever.
Here's like the front view after being chased. You can see the flame coming out the sides. And of course, that's our version of the Dragon Wagon. And let's see if we can pull up the of course there was a toy which looked nothing like it, or more Batmobile like. let me see here. Let's see if we can find the actual one from the video game. It looked more like it was like a souped up kind of Trans Am kind of looking.
Yeah. I love the movie one, dude. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Don't think I can find it. I'll have to look another time. But I mean, it's just one of those crazy. Yeah. Like here's a good picture of, yeah, the blonde, short little thing. Like it was the 90s. It was a whole thing. Thank God we don't do that stuff anymore. Like everyone was wearing cross colors. See if I can pull that up. No. So I mean, yeah, these are just some really fun movies, guys. So Millennium says, I've never seen this one.
I think
I
he
think
might have been talking about the next movie.
Oh, House of the Dead. Okay, yeah. But I mean, these are all great movies. Great. Oh, let's. Oh. We got some Double Dragon on PS5. Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons. Oh, might have to look that up. That could be a future stream on one of our channels. Not this channel, but one of my probably on Dave's Dimension, maybe. We'll see what's going on with that. But yeah, these are all just fun movies, guys. So now, yeah, we kind of rammed through these movies really quick, and I do apologize. Again, Dre wasn't feeling well this evening, so that's why we have the lovely Colin in his green hat co-hosting. Maybe that could be a unofficial thing in the future. He'll be like a substitute if one of us cannot make it, or well, maybe we'll have some other people on. But with that being said, this is not the last time we're doing video games. We have another batch of video game movies that we're going to be covering in the future, so please stay tuned. Also, guys, do not forget, if you want to check out current or past episodes of the Outer Dimensions podcast, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts from, Spotify or anywhere else out there. Also, right now we have so many episodes. I think Dre has a schedule of us all the way to possibly spring, if not beyond. So we're still taking a lot of ideas. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing through the pipeline. The holidays are coming up, so you may see a few episodes maybe pre-taped, pre-recorded. So you may not have us interacting on screen to you, but we may be popping in the chat to respond to you when the stream goes live. That is something that will be happening because it's November. We're only a week or two away from Thanksgiving. You guys know you love your Turkey Day, or I like to also call it my sister's belated birthday. My sister was actually born on Thanksgiving. She was a turkey.
Dude, the stores were crazy today.
They still is a turkey, if you ask me.
They were already doing Black Friday sales, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing. It used to be Black Friday. And for those that don't know, Black Friday, the reason they call it Black Friday is because if a business was in the red, meaning they were in debt, they can make their money back and then some and get in the black. Black meaning profit. That's where it comes from. But
they ruined Black Friday.
It used to be Black Friday was like 8:00 in the morning on Friday morning. Now, a lot of stores start doing their Black Friday and their special doorbusters at like 7:00 on 7:00 at night on Thanksgiving night. But now they're like, hey, we're doing Black Friday deals now. We're doing, it's like, well, it's not Black Friday then. It's just,
it used to be
just called cyber deals,
You'd wake up early after Thanksgiving, go get your coffee and stuff, and go stand in line, dude.
No. As someone who worked retail for
I did too.
I
worked Toys R Us.
I worked Lord and Taylor department store at the Galleria Mall in Cheektowaga, New York. And I always worked the day after Thanksgiving. And I would always work the entire weekend in day before Christmas and the day after Christmas. Those were the worst days ever.
Yeah, ever. Everybody had to work Black Friday. There was no.
Yeah.
There was you. I mean, you had to be on your deathbed to get out of it.
Oh, definitely. And you'd have to get. I mean, if a store opened at 6 and you're an employee, you had to be there like 5 or so.
Oh yeah.
Logistically, and then try getting into the store. No joke.
Yeah, I did the years when they the first years they started doing it like on Thanksgiving night. Dude, that sucked. We gave up our Thanksgivings. We didn't even have a Thanksgiving those years.
Who you
Because
telling?
we'd have to go get ready for it at the store. And then I was always the first shift. So yeah, it sucked.
Oh, definitely, man. But like I said, we do have a few episodes that will be pre-recorded. Millennium says I worked Black Friday every year. Yeah, Rex, you know it. And Rex, Millennium Workshop, he's the one who has created a one of a kind, never going to be created again, one of a kind. It's priceless. The Darth Maul mask, which is one of the 5 prizes for the awesome fundraiser stream that we are doing this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And if you guys want to know where you can find it, well, guess what? You can find it here on the Outer Dimensions podcast. You can find it on EC Collecting's channel. You can find it on Dre's Collector Safe Space channel, and you can even find it on Dave's Dimension. So you have 4 different channels to try and find it. You have no excuse as to why you're not tuning in. It's going to be a hangout stream. We're not just going to do prizes and say, hey, have a great night. No, we're going to be doing some unboxes. We're going to be, hanging out, just having a fun hangout stream. It's going to be cool, positive, and we're giving away we're doing this prize giveaway. But again, to be a part of it, you got to be in it to win it, guys. A $10 donation. All the details are in the video description below. So if you're watching this on replay, go to the video description below. But you have to donate by 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, November 18th of 2023. Okay? The start of the stream will be the cutoff moment. But what you have to do, you go to the website, you make a $10 donation. You take a screenshot of that donation. You send it to either Colin, Dre, or I through our Instagrams, and all the information is in the video description below. Again, you send us your real name, your screen name on Instagram, and you send us the screen cap. That's all you have to do. And we do ask that you are here during the chat. You have to be in the chat during the stream, because if your name gets picked, we need to know what prize you want. We will try. If you are not present, we will make a couple attempts to reach you during the stream. If you do not respond by a certain allotted amount of time, we will move on and choose another name instead. Okay? That's all you guys have to do. It's that simple. $10, 5 prizes. The lowest prize box retails roughly around $100. That's 1/10 the cost of that prize box, and you're in it. And you can win the Mythic Legion box, which is retailed at $300+. There is a Luke Skywalker hot toy that you can win. Luke Skywalker, as featured in Mandalorian. We have a Marvel Legends box. We have a NECA box. Guys, even if it's something that maybe you don't necessarily collect, you're going to know someone who does. You can do trades. Maybe if you wish to, sell it yourself to someone, break into different deals, or maybe just give it as an awesome gift to someone that you know. It's up to you guys. But it's a no-brainer. $10 is like the cup of coffee and a snack, guys. So please join us this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern on any of our channels. Colin, what do you have featuring on your channel this week? You have anything coming up?
I just have reviews. I don't have I might drop a toy hunt on
a review of what?
Friday. That's a secret, dude.
I mean, is it NECA? Is it Hot Toy? Is it
yeah? I'm still doing all my NECA horror reviews.
Okay.
So I still got some of those coming up.
You don't have to tell us exactly what it is, but you can sprinkle a little bit of cheddar for us.
I got a surprise unboxing. Hopefully, I'll be doing Friday when it gets here. If it shows up Friday in one piece.
It's not a severed head, is it? Beyond, no,
kind of.
It might be. I mean,
that's a badass.
You do collect a lot of horror there, so yeah, why not?
I'll be jumping on right away to do that one.
Millennium says whoever wins the mask. It's a badass mask. It is a Darth Maul mask that he created as a special one-off. It's something unlike you've ever seen before.
I'm pretty sure it's autographed too.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it's made by him. And if you guys know, Rex, he makes the craziest things. I mean, once my situation of finances gets resolved, there is something I may want him to possibly make in the future.
Yep. See,
but
Rex knows I got a big review Friday. There's your hint right there.
Okay. I think I know now. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know because I know what Rex specializes in. So yeah, okay. But guys, it's been an awesome stream, guys. Probably one of our fastest ones because I probably talk nonstop. See, Dre's not here, so I have to be the one who's nonstop talking. Also, guys, please check out the Collector Safe Space on YouTube. Dre's been doing some throwback videos, pulling out past figures and re-releasing some of his old videos with a little bit of new takes on them. So please check his channel out. Also, if you guys are not already subscribed to the Collector's Safe Space, why the hell not? Honestly, I'm not just saying this because Dre is one of my friends. He knows so much about anime. He knows so much about Sentai and Kamen Rider and just any like Japanese IP imports. I mean, he's got an amazing collection, but he's such a wealth of knowledge, guys. He's an educator, he's a father, he's a best friend. You guys should definitely check him out. He's got some of the best contents around. Well, we know YouTube doesn't always suggest and push amazing content. Sometimes it's people who have larger numbers that is what talks. But please check out his channel. As a personal favor from me and from Colin, go ahead and check out the Collector Safe Space. And we will be having this month, during the month of November, we put the mental health stream on hold, mostly because of holidays and things being so rushed. And there's also some emergencies that happened on both my side and Andre's side. But we're looking at getting it back up and running for December. I know there's a few people I've spoken to who have an interest in joining us. But guys, please keep your calendars open for the mental health stream. We will have a few of the Outer Dimension podcasts that will be pre-taped, pre-recorded. I mean, really, who uses tape anymore? Now, also, since we talked about everyone's channel, the Dave's Dimension started a new feature this week called Dimension Tech, where I will be reviewing different types of, tech. I started looking at, because my computer is a bit antiquated, I started looking at what's called SIs, or system integrators. Like you've heard of companies like iBuyPower or Digital Storm and so many others. These are companies that pre-build gaming computers, but they also do custom computers. And I'm going to be looking at each and every one of these different companies from the non-tech perspective. There's plenty of YouTubers out there who review these companies, but they're always talking tech specs. They're throwing all the megahertz at you. You might not know what the difference is between a DDR4 and a DDR5. You might not know, well, is this power supply good or not? Or hey, I'm looking at this computer. Should I buy this for my son? You might not know what's really the best and brightest. Someone might be trying to sell you a computer that's 3 years old. It happened to me once. So I'm doing this series. Stay tuned for that. But I'm also still doing unboxes. I still got a lot to unbox. I still have to unbox my Kino from NECA, believe it or not. So I mean, and don't worry, we have a lot to unbox. I have Power Rangers. I got tons of GI Joes I need to unbox. I'm considering these like 2005 Doctor Who figures.
Oh, there you go.
Some people think I might be crazy to unbox them, but some of these look pretty good. Who knows? I might hold off on those. Also, Dave's Dimension is rolling into game streams too, so please stay tuned. I'm actually I need to reconfigure some things on my system. My computer is I'm running on 10 to 12-year-old equipment, if that gives you guys any idea. And if things work out in the future, you may see a computer build featured on this channel as well. But also, we have some game streams coming through. I've been doing Ghostbuster Spirits Unleashed. I might do some other games as well. But I'm also streaming both on YouTube and on Twitch. So please check me out on either one. Just look me up as Dave's Dimension. Colin, any final words? Any thoughts on anything or everything?
No, I think we covered it.
Okay. Once again, I want to thank EC Collecting. And guys, please, if you're not following EC Collecting, or his other channel at FN Figures Podcast. That's FN Figures _ podcast. And of course, you can always find Colin on Instagram at ec.collecting on Instagram. So please check him out. And don't forget, this Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have a blast. I know Saturdays are usually filled with a lot of live streams. I believe the Toy Duo or the Toy Team, as they call themselves, Vern from Oakhurst Studios, him and his gang, they've been doing 12 p.m. streams, so we won't conflict with them. I'm not sure of anyone else who really does in our toy community who's on in that time frame. So it should be just a fun hangout stream. I want everyone to come through the chat. We'll have some open links if anyone wants to come in and hang out. But we may have to do a rotation so we can have a steady flow and everyone gets a chance to come in. But guys, you have until 2 p.m. Eastern, November 18th. That's this Saturday, before 2 p.m. Eastern, to donate $10. Send us that screen cap with your name, your screen name, and please be in the chat so you can win these prizes. This is not an elimination wheel. We are spinning a wheel. A name is chosen. That name gets to choose. If they do not respond to us within an allotted amount of time, we move on to another name. So, guys, 1, donate and make a world of difference to these kids. And 2, be in the chat. It's the difference between you maybe missing out on a Star Wars hot toy, a Star Wars mask by Rex from Millennium Workshop, some Marvel Legends, a NECA box, or Mythic Legions. Yes, we said Mythic Legions.
Yep. Any one of these boxes is a big come up.
And you guys don't have to worry about shipping either. It's all within the United States, within North America. We are taking care of that shipping. But guys, please consider making a difference. We had set a goal of $500. We're not there yet, but we're hoping by the start of that stream that we will be, guys. It's only $10. If you want to donate more, you're completely open to doing so.
Oh, and you can donate multiple times.
Yep. You know? See, and Colin said that you can donate multiple times. So if you want multiple entries, that is a way to go about it. I mean, come on, don't you want that hot toy? Don't you want that mythic?
I know I would do it if I was
Don't you want those NECA? NECA. I mean, come on. And again, Colin, Dre, and I are abstaining from it. We are donating to the cause itself, but we are abstaining from the actual prizes themselves. Yeah. So, guys,
that's for you guys.
That's all we have to say. It's our way of saying thank you for donating to this cause. Where are we at right now, Colin? Do we know?
I do not know.
We're halfway.
I think Dre knows.
When I spoke to Dre, I think last night he had said that I think we were close to half. We were, I think, just past halfway. So, I mean, we still have a few more days, guys. Please keep this in your minds.
I think there'll be a little jump on Friday.
I'm hoping. Payday for some people. Yeah. So fingers crossed.
I know of a few people that have said Friday. So.
Yep. So Friday we just need to start messaging a bunch of people, like, hey, buddy, hey, come on, it's right there, buddy. Thought you're gonna donate. Come on, hey.
I'm just gonna post to Instagram every 10 minutes.
You know it.
Spam Instagram.
So guys, until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension. This is Colin of EC Collecting, and of course, Dre is here in spirit. Dre of the Collector's Safe Space. We just want to say, watch your head out the portal, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys.
Later, guys.